Peace and vainglorious, I'm sorry, peace and vainglorious risings, everybody. Hey, everybody, hey. You guys, I know that I said I wasn't going to do any more videos, but I had to step up for this and say something. First of all, I hope that you all are doing magnificent, afro-nificent, awesome, great, groovy, dandy, delightful. Whatever you feel like doing, I hope that you're doing it as long as it's positive. You guys, I have tried to be quiet as I am on another adventure in my life and trying to get things right with myself. And Spirit just wouldn't allow me to rest. Spirit is pushing me to do what Spirit has chosen and told me to do. Anti-who's and empty ways. I am here to speak and say some things and hope that people will begin to understand. I am well aware that people will not be pleased with what I have to say. And if you guys know me, you know that I come from a land that is of plenty. And on that land, I grow lots of things, but I don't grow fucks. And that's not to be disrespectful of what has happened, but to open the door to allow you to know that I don't. I do not think that this is a time for my people to act irresponsible and ignorant. And I have had this discussion and it has sickened me. Now, a young girl was killed, a 16-year-old girl was killed. And I don't understand where the confusion lies. I don't understand it. I am the first to speak out for my people when there is an injustice. However, unlike a Libra, my scales are balanced. There is no imbalance. There is no blindfold. And I speak truth. I speak spirit and I speak light. My people, let me explain something to you, sun siblings. I am the first to call out the police for killing one of ours who is unarmed, who has been shot in the back, who has had a knee to the neck, who has been lynched. And I don't just mean hung in a tree, because there are many ways to lynch people. I don't use the term black on black crime. Crime is crime. Okay? Now, I watched the videos. I had a chance to see the actual shooting via the videos. Some blurred it, and there was one that did not blur it, so I got to see it. My people, I'm sorry that you are feeling the way that you are feeling, which is the problem. You are in your feelings, which is stopping you from thinking logically and rationally. The officer arrived on the scene. If you are called to a scene and you honestly do not know what is happening because you have not had a chance to investigate the situation, as you're arriving, you see a young person raving savagely, trying to stab not one, but two young ladies. You see a father of that same young lady helping to escalate the situation to the point that he was being abusive to one of the children. Now, as the first young lady falls to the ground, the daughter swings with the knife. She could have struck this child in her temple, in her head, in her throat, somewhere in her neck, in her chest. And then the father comes and punches this child. He punched her as if he's kicking a football for the field goal. The grandmother is standing there. All this is happening in an instant. The young lady, she runs up after swinging this knife towards the young lady that's on the ground. And the little lady in the pink turns, kicks out her foot. She's trying to guard herself from being stabbed as this young woman draws back this knife to stab her. The officer had not reached close enough to tase her. And although people get tased, not everybody drops. Not everybody feels the effects of the taser. I know that firsthand. He was not close enough to her to pepper spray her. He wouldn't have had time to run up and tackle her. So he pulled out his revolver and he shot her. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4. He shot her. Many of you don't know this, but at a point in my life, I don't even want to go into that. But anyway, I will say this is one time when training was handled in the manner in which it should have been handled. He did not empty his clip on her in a racist rage. He didn't. He did what he had to do to stop her from a murderous rampage. Did you all really see the blade of the knife? Had she stabbed either of those young women, it could have been deadly. I am saddened that she's not alive, but I'm also grateful that she is not sitting in prison for homicide. Now, I'm going to turn my focus to Grandma and Daddy. While the police were being called, you are the 2 adults on the scene. You did nothing to de-escalate the situation. You escalated it. You escalated it. What type of parent are you seeing your child with a butcher knife, raging like a hyena to try to stab This is your child. This is what you raised. And daddy, who hollers out, I know you didn't shoot my baby. You were engaging. You were engaging in the act of violence, of child abuse. What were you doing prior to the police arriving there? I'm disgusted with you, hyenas. I am. I'm disgusted. He needs to be arrested, charged with assault and an abuse on a minor. And no, this is not adding insult to injury after the loss of a child. Because, daddy, dearest, you are responsible for your child's death, and grandma too. You all are responsible. And mama, you want to say that your child was for peace, yet your child was trying to stab to death two other children. There is enough violence in this world that the adults should be able to say, we need to stop doing what we're doing to one another. If you don't stop doing what we're doing to one another, guess what? Nobody else is going to stop doing what they're doing to us. And I'm all for a revolution to stop the madness, to stop the senseless murders, to stop the killings. But this right here, you can't point your finger at the officer. This was the one time that I can say the officer was doing his duty. And I'm talking to you as someone who has been the victim of a police officer holding his gun at my head, telling me that he would blow my black bitch brains out for absolutely no reason. For standing on my job, patrolling as I should, and noticing him committing a crime. So now let me ask my people this. Had the officer not shot her and just stood there as her father continued on his rampage of child abuse, and her in hyena mode, stabbing, trying to stab, if he allowed her to stab and kill or maim this child, you all would be saying he allowed it. He stood there and he did nothing. We cannot have the scales unbalanced. They can't be unbalanced. You have to have the scales balanced. An injustice is an injustice. Thank you, Spirit. Stop. Stop it. There's no need for a protest. There's no need for a protest. This was not a case of police brutality. This was not a case of racist agenda, murder on an innocent, unarmed black man, woman, and child. This was training kicked into place, adrenaline flowing everywhere. A senseless act that led to death. And I really am sad to tell you that she participated and her own death. She participated. If someone were to knock at my door right now for my daughter, I want to know what your purpose is. Who are you? Why are you here? You will not fight my child, my daughter, my son, my husband. The only way that I can see you defending yourself is inside your home if someone breaks in. But outside, when you had the option to go inside, close your door. Be safe. Wait until the police arrive. But as the police arrived, nobody cared. No one had any regard that the officer arriving could have de-escalated the arguments. And everybody went home safe instead of planning for a funeral. Let us not forget. Let us not forget the officer who has never discharged his firearm, which is what they're saying. He arrived to a hostile, violent situation. I am quite sure this is replaying in his head over and over and over and over again. Let us stop saying what he should have done. In that moment, he saved lives. And I do not care if you don't care or like what I'm saying. I don't care. I am here to make you think. Spirit sent me here. I couldn't sleep all night long. I couldn't sleep. And this has been in my ear since it happened. I couldn't rest. And Spirit pushed me out of my bed this morning. And I would like to be in my bed, asleep. I really would. I didn't want to make this video, but I had no control. I have no control. When Spirit says to move, I have to get up and move. When Spirit says to speak, I have to speak. This is necessary. This is necessary. I need my people to stop. And I need you to think. Come up out of your feelings and your emotions and think rationale. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. As a gun owner, had I pulled up in my driveway and someone was swinging a knife on my family members, I'm going to empty the clip. I'm going to empty the clip. You will not harm them. Now, this was a clear case of to protect and serve. And if you see it any other way, perhaps you need to get not only your vision, but also your mind checked. I am the elemental butterfly, speaking spirit, speaking light, and speaking life as Spirit allows me, tells me, commands me, demands me in truth. I love you all, and I do, indeed I do. But honey, I'm not going to sit here and live a lie. I hope that you don't either. Have an awesome weekend. Peace.